everyone, and welcome to my sewing room. Merry Christmas. I'm so excited. It's about the 12th of December, and I've got all my Christmas presents pretty much all done, but I needed a project, and I thought it would be fun for us to just do some kind of a Christmas craft or something like that. And I fully confess to you that I kind of got this idea from Jenny Doan, because they are doing their Christmas packaging right now on their website, and they are opening different kinds of crafts and everything. And one of the ladies on it did a Christmas craft that had Christmas sweaters across the front of a little t-shirt. And I thought, wouldn't that be fun to do in the design center on the Stellaire? So that is what we're going to do. I went to the secondhand store. I love Tuesdays because secondhand is senior day and you can get 50% off. I found this cute little plain white t-shirt, and I want to put Christmas sweaters across it. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to go to the Stellaire Design Center. So we all know that you can use the app and you can take a picture of something and turn it into an embroidery, but you can also go onto your computer, go to the clip art, find a picture that you want to trace around and put it on a USB stick, and then bring it into the sewing machine and use it as basically as a template so that you can trace around it and create your own embroidery in the same way you would do it in software. I confess, I think PE Design software does a little bit better, but this does a pretty nice little job. And if all you've got is the Stellaire or the Luminaire, I think you're going to really like this process. So I'm going to move the camera, and I'm going to show you exactly what I had in mind. Okay, I'm going to start in Design Center. So what I have done is I have downloaded a picture that I found on the internet on my USB stick. And while I'm doing this, I want to show you this. This is called a pigtail. It's made by OESD, and no, they have not paid me to push it, but I just love it. It's really great. It goes in the side of your machine, and then you can put your USB stick in there, and it really protects your USB stick. I one time picked up my machine and moved it and hit the side of a USB stick and broke it right off and lost all the designs that were in there because I had not backed them up. So just be really careful. That was a good thing. It could be worse. You could actually break the USB port in your sewing machine, and then you would be crying. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that I've got that. I got that as a Christmas present. I thought that was really cool. So I downloaded a JPEG that I found on the internet. It's just a regular old clip art, but it's something for me to get started with. When I want to do a outline that I'm going to trace, I'm going to go up to the top leaf is what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to go through the USB stick, which is this right here, which is cool because I don't have to use the app and I don't have to worry about the internet. And now down here on the very end of everything that's in this stick is my black and white sweater image. And I'm going to set that down. And it's a little bit hard to see, I know, but it is there. And if I hit the plus sign, I'll get close enough that you can see it too. And so all I'm going to do is trace out this little shape for my embroidery design that I'm going to create. And if I hit this right here and I go up, I'm going to do a running stitch. And I'm going to use this tool that looks like a little lightning bolt that's right there, because that's a continuous line. And I can make this any color I want it to be. Let's make it a dark color just so I can read it. Let's make it blue. And then I'm going to make it a dark color so you can see it. It was what I meant to say. So I've got that all going. Now I'm going to try and do this. And I really should do this with the mouse, and I don't have the mouse, so you're going to end up seeing my hand in the way. But I'm just going to start drawing like this. And if I let go and come back and continue, it will connect. It doesn't disconnect. So this is a really good way to do it, especially if you have a little bit of wobbly hands. And I'm just going to do the inside part of this sweater. And then I'm going to go down this way. And the shorter line that you draw, the more of a curve you can create. If you make too long of a line, it starts to look like it's got little peaks and points. So I'm just going to go down here. I'm not going to worry about the crew part of the sleeves. I'm just going to go straight across and back up. And I don't want this to overlap here because it's not going to make a good applique. So I'm just going to kind of go straight up like this and then straight down. Don't try and make it too complicated, or you'll have to cut that out when you get ready to do an applique, and you don't want to do that. So we're going to go up this way, down this way, across this way, up this way. And as I come back to where I started, it'll close. And if I just select something else, it'll let go of it for me. So now I have that shape. And if I push this, it'll disappear, and you can kind of see I made a little jagged line right there. So I probably, let's see if I can get close to that. See right there where I made a little mistake? I wonder if I could erase it with my eraser. Okay, now let's zoom back out again. Okay, so there's my sweatshirt and my sweater, and I think that's pretty much what I want. I don't want anything fancy. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this. Now, when I go to save this, I want to put it in the memory here before I go and complete it, because I'm going to come back and get it out again. So I'm going to put that in the memory of the sewing machine, and then I'm going to hit next. And everything about it is exactly what I want it to be. I'm going to hit preview. And there it is. And if it's not the right size, I'll figure that out when I get to the next part. It looks like it's 3 inches by 3 inches, which is pretty good for a little tiny applique I'm going to put on the front of a t-shirt. So I'm going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to set it down and say okay. Now, what I want to do now is I want to add the second stitch onto that. So in order to do that, all I have to do really is just push edit, duplicate, move it so it's right on top of the last one, and change the color. So I'm going to hit this, and let's make it bright pink, so there's a definite difference. Now you can see here there's two. There's blue and there's pink. That's good. Now we're going to do the satin stitch that goes on the top. So we're going to push add. We're going to go back into my design center, and because we saved that sweater, it should be in the memory. And the memory on this is this pocket. This pocket right here says arrow going out. So I'm going to hit that pocket and the sewing machine. There's my sweater right there. I'm going to set it down. And now I want to add a satin stitch to that. So I'm just going to come in here, and I'm going to say satin stitch, and let's make it red. And pour and tap it, and it should do a satin stitch outline on there. Now what I want to do is I want to change the collar. So I'm going to use the paintbrush and come in here and pick about right here, and we're going to make it red, and we're going to say okay. And then I'm going to literally paint. Whoops, that's too big. Let's go paintbrush. Let's do that one. Let's do that one. Okay. Now let's try this again. Hit plus. Move my box down just a little bit here. Whoops. I'm trying to get the bottom of this shirt where I can see what the heck I'm doing. Okay, now I'm just going to paint a fill stitch right there. And if I don't like it, I can hit the eraser and I can come in and I can erase some of that. There. Now I'm going to do the same thing again. I'm going to come up here to the neckline. I'm going to do the same thing. So we're going to, whoops, paintbrush. I hope my head's not getting in your way so you can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And then I could do it on the sleeves. Okay, now let's go back out. And, well, let's be here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. So that's all done. So we're going to hit next. And then it's going to show us what it's going to sew. So right now it's just showing me the neckline. And if I hit the direction here, it's on auto. I'm going to hit manual. And I want to make it so it's 90 degrees. So it's going up and down. That should do that. So I'm going to go to the next one and do the same thing. We're going to say auto, manual, plus, 90 degrees. Set that. Next one. Next one. Okay, I think I've got this exactly the way I want it. This is going to be the satin stitch going around it to hold it down for my applique. So let's hit preview. There's my Christmas sweater that I have created, and it looks like it's got it in 2 colors, but that's okay because when I set it down and say okay, it's got the 2, the position, the tack down, the satin stitch, and then the finishing stitch. So I'm pretty sure this is going to do it the way I wanted to. I could select all and edit. Oh my gosh, it won't let me rotate it. That's interesting. Let's hit embroidery and see what happens. Layout, rotate. Okay, that worked. So I'm going to put one up here. Okay. Here in embroidery, I'm going to hit return and go back into edit, but I want to make sure that I duplicate this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see, what do I have to do? Hit this, select all, so all 3 of them are selected, or 4 of them actually are all selected, and then say okay, and then I'm going to duplicate it and put it here. And then I'm going to duplicate it again and put it here. So I have 3 sweaters, and I'm not going to do them all in red, but that's the colors that are on there. That's fine. Now when I hit embroidery, hopefully, good. It's going to do it the way I want it to do it. I got the outline, the tack down, the embroidery, the outline, the tack down, the embroidery. So make sure that you select all 3 of them. Otherwise, it's not going to copy properly in the right order that you want it to copy in. So now I've got those on there. I'm going to have to go ahead and hoop up my my t-shirt that I bought, and we're going to embroider these on the front, and we're just going to see what it looks like. Okay, so I have some tearaway, and I put it over my largest hoop, and I'm going to use some 505 on this. And I usually try and spray it before I think I'm running out of this stuff. But that should hold it pretty good, I think. I try and spray it before I put the top hoop on because it'll make that top hoop so bad. It gets all sticky and full of stuff, and oh my gosh, I've seen some that are so ugly just from being sprayed so many times. So I'm going to tighten this up. And I'll be honest with you, I would prefer Perfect Stick, where you peel the top up and it's very sticky, but this should be sticky enough for what I need. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little t-shirt that I'm going to do this on, and I'm going to turn it inside out. This is very stretchy. I'm not putting this down permanently on the hoop. I'm just laying it here for a minute so that I can put some no-show mesh right here. So I have learned over the years that no-show mesh is great for t-shirts because it is it's permanent. It stays in there. It holds the shape, especially the very stretchy things when it goes to the wash. But also because it's a nylon, if you iron it, it'll pucker. So I'm going to just use the 505 on this as well. So I'm going to do this. Let's hope I have enough 505 to put on the front of my t-shirt to make it stick. And then I'm going to take the whole thing and I'm going to lay it here like this. So you've got the tearaway stabilizer, you've got the no-show mesh, and then you've got your t-shirt across the front like this. And then when I go to put this on the machine, I am literally going to have to take this and push the back out of the way and embroider in this little part. So don't walk away from it because it's going to definitely need some babysitting. Once it finishes embroidery design here and here, I'm going to have to push out of the way and get up here. So it probably would be a really good idea to mark where your sweaters are going to go so that you don't end up with something that looks really crooked. Maybe with an iron away friction pin. An iron away friction pin. So I'm going to do that really quick. I'm going to just kind of decide exactly where these t-shirts are going to go, and I'm going to mark it, and then I'm going to put it on the machine. I'm going to sew it out. We're going to see what I end up with. Okay, so here it is. It's not really what I would say completely finished. I think it needs something. You know, I was thinking maybe if I took a cord and I sewed it down here so that it looked like it was on like a clothesline, and maybe add some pom-poms or maybe even some jingle bells to it. I mean, I'm not one of those to get a little crazy with a Christmas sweater, but it needs something else. I'll work on it a little bit, but I did think it came out cute. I did fussy cut some scrap fabric I had in my stash rather than using little tiny ones. I've got the Grinch and Charlie Brown, and this one's just got a little snowman on it. But I think it came out really cute. I do want to show you one thing though, so I'm going to move the camera just a little bit. So here I am back at the sewing machine, and this is the part in the design center where we added the satin stitch to it, and you hit next and you get a zigzag stitch around it. Here it says 0.80, and that's the way I left it, but I'm telling you that if you want a good applique, you should maybe make it about 140. That makes a nice wide zigzag stitch on there, and then go ahead and set that down. I think you'll be much happier. I started to sew that out, and then I did not like the way it looked, so I had to go back and do it again. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that little tip. There are probably other things that I would liked better about it, but it was still a really fun little project. I hope you learned a little bit about how to do an applique in the design center and how to do something fun. It maybe inspire you to make a Christmas project before Christmas actually comes. I hope you had a good time. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.